nothing I need. There's nothing left to say. There's just no other way. Can you feel it now? It's like a steel boot to the gut. I feel the heat from these fields of fire. I hear the screeching of burning tires. I don't care how long it takes. I ain't never gonna break. I got a 5.56 that'll leave you rattled.
Good morning. It is Monday, and it appears that I have lost my team. The show self-regulates. Well, I sat there waiting before starting the show, and I'm like, I guess we're not doing anything. Okay. Guess I'll start the show. So, oddly, today, first person in the house at 9:37 a.m. was Andy Morrow over in the United Kingdom. Good morning, Andy. Next in the house is Gambit was here. And then right after that is 11 Alpha. And 11 Alpha asked a really good question this morning.
A question that I asked when we watched the movie yesterday, too.
Yeah. Well, it's a good question. And my answer to that is what I said to Alpha when I replied to him. Is because he says, where's it at? Why is this being covered on Military Monday? And my response to him was, you find a military movie with Joe Pesci in it.
Fair.
I went looking, and this is the closest I could fucking really find, because his character, despite being a homeless man, is a former merchant marine who is not actual military, but they do often, especially during wartime, answer to the Department of Defense, the Department of the Navy, as well as the War Department. And they will often be given actual uniforms with rank, but they're not in the fucking Navy or Coast Guard. It's just their ships end up being used, and a lot of their ships are privately owned, but some of them are government owned ships.
Well, there's also an agreement where they're privately owned most of the time until war is declared, and then they're part of the United States.
They are brought in to help coordinate with the Department of the Navy, and they've been used. In fact, there's a debate right now, and I got into it this weekend over whether Lance Henriksen was in the U.S. Navy or if he was something else during the Vietnam, or no, it was the late 50s. It was like 57 through 59, I think, was when he would have been in before the Vietnam era. And it says on IMDb, or not IMDb, I'm sorry, Wikipedia, that he is U.S. Navy. It tells us rank, but there are others that have debated that said that there's no record of him having served in the Navy, but that he may have served in something like the Merchant Marines, which is one of them I read all the way back about 10, 15 years ago. I remember reading possibly the Merchant Marines. But he's never confirmed or denied anything. So how are you going to find out without asking him? Somebody has to ask him to get a confirmation. It's not that fucking hard. It's not like he's impossible.
Probably say yes or no.
Yeah. So let's get back to this. So let's see. Oh, Claudia Haro was married to Joe Pesci. Interesting. She was about 20 years younger than Pesci. Claudia Haro, who plays Marty, the girl who asked Simon to dance at the party, who was obviously married to Joe Pesci, but the couple had been divorced for a year before filming.
That's got to be an awkward work environment to have to work with your ex-wife.
Yeah, and there again, Slasher admits that I gave the answer that was given, which is fucking Joe Pesci. Like, what fucking military movie can I get him? Right. Like, there's a hint of it in The Irishman that De Niro's character served, but I don't recall anything in there saying that Pesci's character served. And personally, I don't really care because that's not really, I don't like that movie. I really did not like The Irishman. I thought it was badly made.
And also, I just don't like Robert De Niro as a person.
Well, my problem with the film was De Niro was an old man, and even though they de-aged him, when he curb stomps that guy, he looks like an old guy trying to put out a cigarette on the ground. He doesn't look like he knows how to fucking curb stomp a guy. It was bad. It was bad.
Well, I mean, also Robert De Niro just plays Robert De Niro in every movie.
I don't mind it. I really don't mind
certain roles he works.
Yeah, but I didn't like that movie. I didn't think it was very well made. I think that he did the best he could, the actors in it, but it just didn't look good. I had a lot of problems with it. And I also call bullshit on that dude being involved in the killing of the union guy. I forgot his name. Anyway.
Hoffa,
thank you. I may only stick around for chatting, not for the film discussion. I despise the whole genre of Weiss. I'm not a big fan of it either, but I have a direct connection to this film because while I was still in the military, I was doing, at this point, I was in the reserves. And I took a job taking care of an elderly couple while going to school at U of I. And this film was shooting there while I was there. And I remember there's a scene in the film. I don't know if we'll have a picture. If we do, I'll pause it. Where there's this area where there was a shop and then there's some pole phones there on campus. And you can see down a row of buildings. And that is the arts house, the arts building in the background. It's not a dormitory. It's actually where the arts department was. And I was like, oh, shit, I lived right across the street. And I'm like, I walk right through that area all the time going to take art classes.
That's always fun when you see a movie and you know exactly where it's shot. You've been there.
Yeah, and it's not every scene. It's just, I think there are like 4 shots in the film that were done at the University of Illinois. And I thought that was kind of neat. They also shot, I think, in Boston, or at least in Pennsylvania, too, for one of the universities there. I used to live across the shelter next to a liquor store. The number of heated arguments I've heard with trees and lampposts to fill a novel. Yeah, look, I knew this weirdo that used to go out and preach to telephone poles. He wasn't homeless, though. He was crazy. Let's see. Yeah, guys, it doesn't seem like a military movie, but maybe PCM can clue us in about it. I think I did. And you find a military film. There it is. That's when I said it. You find a military film with Joe Pesci. Good luck with that. You know, there's just some genres he's not in.
Not many.
Liar, Liar, and Bruce Almighty have various hobo guys in them. I'm not a big fan. I laughed at the movie Down and Out in Beverly Hills, but I don't own a copy of it because I just don't think the genre is all that good. It's tiresome. The only thing I really liked in that movie was the goddamn dog.
And that's because it's hard not to like a dog.
Yeah, exactly. One of those. I think it was an Australian sheepdog, one of the black and white ones.
Yep, an Aussie Shepherd. Adorable.
Yeah, Down and Out in Beverly Hills, right here. Alpha brings it up. It's just not a very good film. I don't think it's very good. But it was popular that year. Big hit. School Ties, yeah, I remember the movie. It's where Brendan Fraser character has to deal with everyday racism. It was
I thought it was, not racist.
It is racism. Anti-Semitism is racism.
It's a kind of racism, yeah. But
well, it is because Jews are a race. So anyway, there's JFK, but fuck that film. No, we watched it, and we did do the show about it, Alpha.
Yes.
You were there. And That was an ordeal. I'll never watch it again. It's just
that movie
exhausting.
is too long. What a chore!
Yeah, it would have been better if it was like 45 minutes shorter.
Well, they de-aged all the older cast for certain scenes. They did it to Harvey Keitel and to Joe Pesci. Now, Harvey Keitel, fuck, I love that guy. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps.
Yep.
And he is one of the actors who has stated that we need to reinstate the draft. I don't agree, but I do agree that we should set up a system that you have to serve your country in some form after high school, before college.
Service guarantees citizenship.
That's where I did agree with him, by the way, when he wrote.
And no, I'm not joking. The older I get, the more I agree with Heinlein.
I agree with him in context to serving, but not always the military. There are other jobs you can do, including the Peace Corps. You know, give of yourself to your fucking country. Show that you give something back to what gives you everything you have.
And if we could have at least some sort of basic boot camp that just beats discipline into people, that would be great. Because
that would be great. That'd be great.
Or at least teach people to like put their shopping cart away and open the door for other people, because it's just generally considered a nice thing to do.
Yep.
We have a genius thing for shopping carts where you need to insert a coin to unchain it.
Oh, we have that at Aldi's here. And you guys have, what's the European name for that? I forget.
I don't know if it has a name.
Yeah, you said the store that's like Aldi's here. You said it's called this here. You've told me multiple times, so I know you fucking know it.
It's Aldi in northern Germany, and in southern Germany and Austria it's called Hofer.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Company. I believe it's owned by the same mother company. Moira Kelly was on a TV series called West Wing. Nobody cares, Slasher Fred. But I will say thank you for commenting. And more importantly, she was also in some great other films. I like the fucking movie Ice Castles, where she's an Olympic level figure skater, and she ends up having to work with a hockey skater.
You're talking about Cutting Edge, Gary.
Cutting Edge, yeah, not Ice Castles. Cutting Edge. I actually like that fucking movie.
That was fun.
Also, speaking of the Olympics, I would just like to point out that the U.S., both men's and women's team, beat Canada for gold in hockey. So, you know.
Goddamn right. That was awesome.
Ouch.
I laughed my ass off going, that's a black guy for Canada.
Well,
down and out in Beverly Hills.
It's the first time we've won in 46 years.
From drowning with Michael Michelle.
Ever since we beat the Soviet Union in 1980, we have not won gold. It's been Canada every time.
I've never seen Little, but I see Aldi's all the time, everywhere I've lived.
They started as discounters, and by now they cost the same as the other stores. And no,
well, what they do, they still have better prices than most of your grocery store chains. In fact, I've seen prices better Aldi's than at Walmart. But the thing is they've become a little more niche by serving up better material, as far as groceries. And I do like that. In fact, I can't get keto bread at Walmart, but I can get it at Aldi's. And I like that. I love their keto bread. Other than those issues, I thought the actors were doing their best in the Scorsese film. Now, look, man, I don't have a problem because historically, I call bullshit on the movie, as do a lot of historians. That guy had nothing to do with that murder, but it's still an interesting story. It's all. I think they also call bullshit on the hit that he supposedly did, and then drops the pistol when he walks away. I'm like, yeah, that was somebody else that did that. One of my good friends had a fucked up eye, so he did his alternative service in a hospital rather than the Bundeswehr. His father was taken prisoner at Stalingrad with a POW from 43 to 57. Holy shit. They kept him after the fucking war? Wow.
Oh, yeah. There was tens of thousands of prisoners that were we knew the Soviets.
It's the hatred. It's the pure fucking hatred they had against the Germans, man. It is.
And they were just like, oh yeah, we don't know what happened to them, even though we knew exactly what happened to them. They were in a gulag.
When I was in Washington, up in Seattle, and I had a patient that I would visit once a month. He was a former American POW, but he was German in an American POW camp. And when he got released, he stayed here, and he ended up moving up to the greater Northwest, that's probably where he was at when he was a POW. And he stayed there, met a woman, fell in love, had kids, and lived a great life. He was in his 70s when I met him, and he had served in World War II for the Germans. He was not a Jew, but he was a German soldier. And he said he had gotten wounded, and he was laying there, and he heard talking, but he couldn't recognize what they were saying. But he knew they weren't German. And he said, I prayed my first real prayer at that moment, that they were Americans and not Russians.
Yeah, because if you wanted to get captured in World War II, you wanted it to be the Allies, not the Reds, not
the Russians, because he probably would have been shot or worse, tortured if he had been captured by Russians.
Yeah,
they had a great hatred for Germany.
Unfortunately, getting captured by the Russians was actually worse than getting shot.
Yeah, Madonna sang so many movie songs back in the day. Well, I will tell you this, though, Slasher Fred, on this one. The company involved with this production, the executives involved with this film, some of them were the same people who did At Close Range, which is the only song performed by Madonna that I like, which is Live to Tell. I think it's a great song. And I love that movie, despite Sean Penn. He couldn't ruin that movie for me. Although I will tell you, I preferred Sean Penn pre-Madonna.
Yeah, I don't like Madonna.
That was a joke.
He's a pre-Madonna.
Yeah, he's a pre-Madonna.
I like him in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Much after that, not so much.
First of all, one, I went to high school with one of the guys in the movie. Two, I did not want to watch that movie, and I've never watched it.
Really?
Because when I saw part of it, I'm like, this is too much like the shit I went through. I don't want to fucking watch this.
Well, yeah, true. You were in high school at that time.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking watch this. I quit high school for a fucking reason. But anyway, I am not a fan of Madonna. And in fact, when we watched this film, I absolutely stopped in the middle of the song. I hated the song.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
like Madonna. I have never liked Madonna. When it was the 80s and everybody, all my fucking male friends, well, I'd like to fuck her. And I'm like going, that's cool. I prefer avoiding STDs.
What, you didn't like the theme for Die Another Day?
I didn't even like the movie. The only thing good about that film was the whole intro.
The intro was great.
Oh my God, it was its own fucking movie.
And I do love the Aston Martin Vanquish, I will say.
But I love Pierce Brosnan, and the idea that he's another one of the old Bond actors that would love to come back to play an older Bond.
And I think he could do it. Like,
yeah, Dalton wouldn't mind doing it, and Pierce Brosnan, and they're both great Bonds.
And you know what? I think Pierce Brosnan could do it better than Connery did.
Oh yeah, and I loved Connery in Never Say Never Again. The only thing I had, by the way, the copy of that movie I have, Never Say Never Again, is the Eon cut, which makes it feel like a regular Bond movie, including having its own animated intro and everything, and a theme song sung by Shirley Bassey. It's a fucking great fucking video. And I enjoyed the shit out of that. So anyway, Gambit says, because there are distortions of facts plus opinions as why Hoffa got killed in the first place. Personally, I think that the movie that got it right was one with Nicholson, and Pesci was in that one too. I prefer that version. The movie is called Hoffa with Jack Nicholson. And I thought he nailed that fucking character. I often forgot and this rarely happens. I forgot I was watching Jack Nicholson a few times because he has that shit done to his face that I'd lose myself in that character. I thought that was great. Hop was a great fucking movie. That wasn't Joe Pesci. That was Danny DeVito that played his buddy.
They're both short and funny.
Yeah, they're both short, Italian. Only 9,000 prisoners returned from the 200,000. That's bad.
Including General Paulus himself.
Yep.
Who never returned to Germany. They think they're pretty sure the Soviets had him executed.
Well, based off of the evidence, the movie ended exactly the way people said they saw it. That a truck pulled up, big truck, rig with a trailer. And that's how I believe it happened. That's how they got rid of him. To be fair, the Germans did not exactly treat they were.
They did not.
Russians hated them for other reasons too.
In fact, first of all, first camps,
Stalingrad.
In fact, one of the first camps that was liberated by the Red Army was not for Jewish people or anything else. It was for Soviet POWs.
Now I'm talking about the biopic. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Damn it.
Unsurprisingly, after that, the Red Army didn't take that many prisoners. Would you believe it?
Yeah. No, I do believe it. That's why I said that German prayed it was an Americans and not Russians, because he knew he was going to be killed.
Not to mention the Russians are just absolutely merciless at the best of times.
Yeah. Callum Turner and Jacob Elordi have been considered for Bond. I'm not going to get caught up in that anymore because it usually ends up being somebody else.
I do wish that they would do a Bond movie set in the 60s, though.
That's what Nolan said.
From that.
Nolan was one of the people that was in talks, okay? And he said that if he directed it, he would have pushed to have it take place in the era the stories were written in.
Yeah, I mean, because Bond is a Cold War character.
Yes, he is.
And he should be portrayed that way.
Okay, I love that movie. Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag is a great fucking little film.
Oh, yes.
It's funny as shit.
I forgot about that movie, but yeah, I've seen it. It's great.
It's kind of wild to see Brendan at this time, because I looked like
a good actor.
I was like in my 30s and I still looked like I was 18, and it kind of freaked people out. I went to a party with my band one night, and this girl's like hears that I've got a kid, and she's like trying to give me advice, and I'm like, I helped raise two other kids. I'm like in my 30s, and she wouldn't believe me. And instead of banging her, which was where it was headed, I got so fucking angry at her that I had to grab two people in my band. I said, tell her how old I am. And she just wouldn't believe it. And I went, oh, fuck this. And I walked away. Like most people would be like complimented. I was so fucking annoyed, like trying to give me advice on how to raise a kid. Like, only use tap water to warm your formula. No shit. Yeah, you should use the hot water out of the sink to warm up your bottles. You shouldn't boil them. I'm like, no fucking kidding. I mean, I know that not just from being a parent, but from being in the medical field. Fucking people.
I mean, to be fair, giving you advice on how to do just about anything, it's not because they think you're inexperienced. It's because they think you're retarded.
Yeah. It's sort of like, well, look, we know this is why cats kill animals and leave them well, for me, it was in my shoes. Because my cat didn't want it going to my girlfriend. He felt that she could take care of herself, so he killed for me.
Yeah, cats think you're a lousy hunter, so they take care of you.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Emmanuel.
And I don't think she tried to give you advice because you were young. She did it because you're male. It's like, yeah. Males don't do children. They don't.
You were woman-splained.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I will be right back.
I could have never done that, dude. I'm too busy. I would put out a bowl of really warm, like I could stick my hand in it, and I would put the bottle in there for about 5 minutes, and then I'd feed it to my kid. Brendan Fraser's 1992 movie Encino Man could be seen as a spoof of the underrated 80s movie Iceman. I don't know that one, but I know it was kind of a spoof of, you know. Oh wait, I know the one you're talking about. That wasn't 92, was it? I thought that was in the 80s, where Timothy. Oh my God, Timothy Hutton. Where, what was that movie called? Was that Iceman? Tim Hutton sci-fi film.
And Cinnamon is indeed from 92.
What was that movie? 1984. It was Iceman. 1984. I remember when that movie came out. That's actually a really good film. And it's got John Lone, as I recall, as the caveman that they thaw. So, yeah, absolutely. It is a parody of that film. Yeah. Emmanuel. Hi, Penny.
Hi, Penny.
Yeah, I love Encino Man. And I wouldn't mind to do that sometime because I like that film. It's one of my little favorites. And I own a copy of that movie. I'm not a fan of Pauly Shore's movies, but I've seen a few of them that I enjoyed. I did not like Biodome. And it's because it had a Baldwin in it that can't act. Can't stand that Baldwin brother. But I do like In the Army Now. We did it, in fact, on here. My problem with that movie is Andy Dick, but I still enjoyed that movie. It's dumb as shit, but it was closer to being more believable than Stripes was, but Stripes is the better film. But Encino Man is a fun little film. And I love that Brendan Fraser, anytime he appeared in a movie with Pauly Shore, he was playing another version of the Encino Man. In fact, when he's in the Army Now, in the Chow Hall scene, his name on his name band on his uniform says Link, which was his name in the movie Encino Man. That was really nice that he would continue to do that shit with Pauly. But look, this isn't a bad film by any measure. I did enjoy this film. And it didn't have too much of that thing, but the fact is Alpha's so right. Nothing more annoying than when Hollywood gets overly didactic about homeless people. And that the movie, Down and Out in Beverly Hills is pretty much a straight up comedy, but it absolutely is preachy, as is this movie about this guy. But the fact is I knew some of the homeless guys there outside the U of I, and a lot of them were military veterans that I met, and they were really good guys. And I used to go down, and I got so mad when they tore this place down. It went, they forced it out of business. It was this grill that had been there since the 1940s, a burger joint, and great burgers. And I would go buy burgers and with fries and drinks, and I would feed all the guys in that immediate area. And it wasn't just me. There were a lot of us that would do that shit. And but I never met a philosophical one. The closest I ever got to having a semi-intelligent conversation with a homeless person, the guy was completely fucking insane. He is schizophrenic. And
mental health is the reason for a lot of people being homeless.
Well, I've talked about this ad nauseum, but anyway, I will go ahead and say this story. So I had him in the back of my ambulance, and I'm talking to him, and we were trained how to communicate with people that were mentally challenged, not dumb, but on the crazy spectrum. And so I got this guy opening up about Vietnam, served in Vietnam. And we had a great conversation. I got my answers I needed on my notes. And right as we got to the hospital, my partner comes around to the back door, opens the back doors. And as this patient goes to get out of my ambulance, I unstrapped him and let him up and so he could walk in. The guy turns to me and he says, "Oh, by the way, I got tuberculosis." And
oh, God.
So we took him inside and we had to go get tested. And I don't know if he really had TB, but he was being an asshole. He did that to be an asshole. I'm
yeah,
like,
he was probably just fucking with you.
He was totally fucking with me the whole time. I got so fucking irritated by that. Oh my God. But when it comes down to it, look, during the Reagan years in California, when he was governor, they began to go after mental hospitals. And then the U.S. government, during the Reagan administration, began to shut down. And I blame really Geraldo Rivera for this shit, because he did the first expose on, what was it, West Hills, I think was the name of the place, mental institution. And it exposed a real problem in the psychiatric hospitals across the United States. But instead of fucking fixing it, what they did instead was they began kicking people from these places, shutting some of them down. There were a lot of hospitals shut down in the 80s during the Reagan administration. And suddenly we started to see a rise in homeless population, like a huge rise. And that is when we began to have a homeless problem, a real one. And so a majority of the people that you actually see out there stop doing this Hollywood overly didactic fucking, that might be a philosopher you might want to, talk to sometime. But a lot of them are fucking crazy. And it's best not to interact with them. Let people who are trained to do it interact with them. Ignore Hollywood, but absolutely push to get these things done. And I just heard that Trump is going to be signing into law a new reform. So we'll do away with the 72-hour hold. That, again, started in the 80s. And we were plagued by the 72-hour hold. And I told you the last call I ever went on as a paramedic was for a lady that I had taken in two and a half days before. And for a psych eval, they kicked her loose. She walked out onto the 405 and laid down and let cars hit her. And a truck eventually clipped the right parietal side of her skull with the steel belted tires it had on. They were like razor sharp when it hit her. Just clipped it off of her. And we couldn't transport her. I was on the call and I knew who it was. And it broke me. I didn't want to do this shit anymore.
Yeah, that's
put them in the hospital. They get kicked loose. We were constantly on rotation with some of these people. Put them in, kick them loose. Put them in, kick them loose. And it's disheartening. The 72-hour hold is a bullshit rule. And I'm glad they're doing away with it. The smell, that gasoline smell, the whole hill smelled like victory. Yeah. Served in the United States Army after the Korean War. Wait, who is this? Who are you talking about?
I have no idea. He's going through the topics.
Okay, Pagos now is where... Oh, Robert Duvall. I already know about that. Yeah, I've talked about his military service. He was a real
we
deal.
did when we did his week.
Yep. Served in the United States. Yeah, I already know that. When is going to end? I love that movie. I like Tender Mercies too. The Apostle is a film I was never attracted to watch. Love Duvall. Love him. I wasn't interested in that movie. I've seen clips from him, and that's all. The defunding and shutting down of psychiatric hospitals was mainly a 1960s phenomenon. They didn't care about the consequences until they could use the cudgel against Reagan. I don't know if, well, that was when he was governor of California, yeah. But it ended up in the 80s, they started doing on the national level. And that's when we saw an explosion of homelessness. I don't know if you have ever seen it, but there is a few Pepsi commercials with Kate Eisenberg where she would imitate these stars, and in one she imitated Joe Pesci. I've never seen that. No. I'll look that up. Make a note of that, honey, so we can look that up after the show. I did view Open Range last night, deleted scenes, Stephen Otten. By the way, we've talked about that film, and I tell people all the time, people don't understand the performance of Kevin Costner in that until they find out that that guy was dying while he was making the movie. And it wasn't until he did the flood scene in the town that after he shot all of that, he left it to the emergency room and found out the reason he's been feeling like shit, having trouble acting, doing his scenes, because he was having appendicitis. And they said if he had waited any longer, it would have exploded and he would have likely died. That quote, "This war is going to end," by the way, originates from Apocalypse Now with Colonel Kilgore. Great character. He's based on Patton's son, General George S. Patton. And The Apostle might look like an awful movie from that perspective. I don't know why, but everything I saw about that film, no matter how good he is, I didn't like his character. And I don't want to watch a movie where I don't like the character that's being played by Duvall. That's how big a fan I am of his. By the way, he is an actual descendant of Robert E. Lee, the Confederate general.
I didn't even know that until recently.
And he campaigned to get the role in Gettysburg, but didn't get it. It went to Martin Sheen.
Well,
but
he did
when they did the sequel, he got to play him in that. And it was one of his proudest roles, was getting to play someone he is an actual descendant of.
And I think he did a fantastic job with it, by the way.
I lived in a home previously owned by Robert E. Lee.
Really?
Yes. When I was right after my son was born, and it wasn't right after, it was right after we got him out of the hospital when he almost died from hemolytic uremic syndrome, a rare disease that only inflicts 1 in a million kids. My kid got it. Oh, and the doctor there was the expert on the disease. He was there to give a lecture at MCV in Richmond, Virginia. And he was there to give a speech and was going to leave, and just happened to be there right when my son came in. And he ended up staying and treating my son and saved him. But we came home, and it was time. We needed to get our own place and not live with my in-laws, because even though I loved my mother-in-law, I despised my father-in-law. I thought he was a fucking asshole. And he would say shit to me, and I just take it because I lived with him for a few weeks. And we were done, got our own place. I was making good money. And I just got out of surgery myself. I just had surgery, and I was still under the effects of the anesthetic, and I was having trouble getting up the stairs, but I'm doing it. And he said something to me when we got to the top of the stairs. I said, "You can fuck off and go home now. You can talk to me like that in your home. You don't get to talk to me like that in this one. Either you shut the fuck up and respect me, or you can fuck off." And so he left. Then I finished helping my wife move us in. James, good to see you, man. But absolutely agree with you, man. I love history too. Love it.
History is just...
I love knowing why things are the way they are.
That, and there's some stories from history that are... There are some stories from history that are legitimately more entertaining than fiction. And stranger than fiction.
Right, I'm having some trouble.
Make this up.
I'm having some connection issues, guys.
Okay.
So I dropped off camera because you guys are all roboting to me. Duvall should have won the Oscar for The Apostle over Jack. I don't know, man. I don't know. That is on my top 10 list of favorite movies of all time, as good as it gets. In fact, some of the greatest, most quotable lines for Jack Nicholson came from that movie. And so I don't quite agree with you, Leo. By the way, it's nice to meet you, man. I like your avatar. Hey, Janet from another planet. What's up, lady?
Hey, good to see you, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Yeah. Damn it, Janet, where have you been? As good as it gets, great movie.
On another
Jack
planet.
On another planet. That's right.
Yeah.
Where is that video? Is it in this one or is it another folder of Jack Nicholson?
Also,
that scene that you like so much.
Before I take it off, Anima, I'm actually wearing a jacket from your country's military.
Huh.
Like this is.
How did you get that?
I bought it off a veteran friend of mine who I think got it surplus. But yeah, this was at the time anyway, Austrian issue.
That's funny.
Yep. I just happened to get my hands on it somehow. Like the shit just kind of circulates. I wouldn't be surprised if
we actually
Austrian
have a store selling army stuff here in Vienna.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch. There's a whole industry about that in the U.S. of Army and Navy stuff, but most of it's American. Like, you know, old American surplus. You do occasionally see old German and Austrian uniforms, though. Not those ones. Don't worry about that. But
yeah, nobody wants those.
Well,
only very weird people.
I will say they are stylish. Shame about the people wearing them.
Yep.
In fact, the funny part is my old home state, Massachusetts, their state police actually wear the same uniform, just in different colors, that the SS used to.
Really?
Designed by Hugo Boss and everything.
Wow.
It's like, and you used to carry Walther PPKs as their concealed. So it's like, oh, okay, so we know who you were patterned off. That's not great. It's also why we refer to them as the mass state stormtroopers.
Here we go.
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
Based.
Yeah.
I love how her face just drops.
It's one of my favorite moments in the film. That one, when the housekeeper knocks on his door to ask him if he would, you know, walk the dog for him, take the dog out, and she's like, what does she say? She says, "Oh, thank you, senor. And if you would you go into his apartment? Would you please open the curtains and make sure that he can look out onto the world that God has made and know that there's, you know, still hope in the world?" And he's like, where do they teach people like you to talk like that? And some Panamanian sailor won a hump bar, or is his last day at the boss's whiskeys? Go sell crazy somewhere else. We're all stocked up here. I fucking love that fucking line. I consider that one of the greatest Nicholson lines in the history of filmmaking.
And that's one of those ones where like everyone's just like, yeah, nope, he's absolutely fucking right.
Yeah. So this scene, I did like this scene because you can tell if you pay attention that this guy has mental problems in this scene. And I thought that was the closest they got to realism, that he doesn't know how to behave himself or is not self-aware, which is something you find with people with mental illness, that they're not self-aware.
Zero filter, yeah.
Yeah. And, but,
or you know, you're like me and Gary, and you know exactly what you're doing. You just don't care because you're an asshole.
Pretty much. this is the thing, because Anima knows I watch a lot of veteran produced videos on Facebook and over on YouTube, and I just get such a kick out of this one dude. I just started watching him and subscribed to him, and he takes 34 things that veterans say to tell you that they're veterans. And for me, I use a lot of radio lingo. When people say something to me, I'll roger that, or I'll go copy. And other little turns of phrases that we use, and FUBAR is not one of them. I never used FUBAR in the military.
I used it a couple of times, but that's mostly because things were absolutely FUBAR'd.
And it's funny because I was back in the day, 1990, when I went in, we used like the one I like to use was Charlie Foxtrot.
That's just a state of being for the military.
Yeah.
Like that's not a individual situation in my experience. That's just how it is.
Well, we describe scenarios. Yeah, it's like if you're going to describe a situation, how's the situation? It's Charlie Foxtrot.
Or one of my favorite descriptions of, the average situation is it's a soup sandwich.
Yeah, I've heard that one. Just so many cool little things that you learn in the military that just stay with you. The Marines have a different one. It's slightly different at the end, but in the Army, we use high speed, low drag.
Well, we just say high speed.
Well, you say high speed and no. What is it? No, there's a term that's used. It's something. It's like high speed something, and then you reverse it at the end. I forget the way it is. We didn't say it in the Army, but I know Marines. I learned it from a Marine.
The phrase I know that you're talking about like that is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
That's it. That's a Marine thing. I've never heard that in the Army. But I like it. I'm like, yeah, for us, very similar. It's like high speed, low drag. And hurry up and wait is every branch.
That's every military organization I've ever heard of. It probably goes back to Sargon the Great.
One of my favorites was unfuck yourself.
Yeah.
Another one that's still popular, from what I understand, is it's sort of like the unfuck yourself. God damn it, I can't think of it right now. And it cracked me up when I heard somebody say it. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that one too. Just so many fucking little slang terms. Fuck chop. A fuck chop is somebody who can't get their fucking shit squared away.
One of my favorites is the term shitbird.
Shitbird. Fuck chop. Fuck chop, by the way, it's a military. What do you call it? Where you combine two words. I just forgot the name of it. A contraction, where you take two words and put them together. Fuck chop is one word, but it's made up of fucking pork chop.
Yeah.
A fucking pork chop. Also, fucktard.
Point of contact, yes.
Fucktard is another one. It means fucking retard. And it became one word, fucktard.
Now, I was asked not to use the term fucktard, but that was mainly because I have a New England accent. When I say the word retard. So they actually just genuinely enjoyed calling someone, if I can drop my accent for a bit, fucking retarded.
Yeah. There was a battle in World War II where the Marines were there, and it was the only known time when Marines complimented Army and said, you guys are one of us.
Yeah, the 77.
And I think it was was that at Tarawa or Iwo
No,
Jima?
that was Lady Gulf.
Lady Gulf. Okay. I just remember that when they saw the Army go at the Japanese, they're attacking like us.
Well, have you seen the Fat Electricians video on the 77th Division?
That's where I got it from. That's where I got the story. Yeah.
They were entirely composed of older guys, like 35 plus. And that's actually where they got their nickname from. Is the Marines were sitting there watching them, going, "Look at those old bastards go."
Oh my God! Knees to the breeze. That's another good one. Front-leaning rest position. Move.
Or yeah. my personal favorite. I don't know if the Army uses this term, but the Marines absolutely do. Is just beat your face, shitbag.
Yep. Oh yeah. There's none of that drop and give me 50 shit in the military. Nobody gives you a fucking number.
Yeah, it's just beat your face until I'm tired of looking at it.
Yeah. When I get what was it the guy said? I watched him smoke one of my buddies, and he says, "You beat your face until I'm tired, and I'm feeling pretty good right now. Go." Arms tired, roll over, do sit-ups.
My personal favorite was the how fast can you comply game of good, get on your face right now, get on your feet right now, get on your face right now, get on your feet.
And I forget the command for doing the 1/4 turn to the right.
Half right?
Is that what it is? Half right.
Half left or half right?
When you hear that, you know
you fucked
what's
up.
About to fucking happen.
Yeah, it's like your entire platoon fucked up and you're about to pay for it.
Lined up in formation, and drill sergeant walks out and says, half right turn, move. And you move and you're like, oh my God. Front leaning rest position, move.
It's like, yeah, we're about to get smoked. As soon as you heard half right face, you're just like, yep. And we fucked up somehow.
This is the worst part of this as a punishment. They wait while you're in the front leaning rest position. You're holding yourself up to the point where they're watching for arms to start shaking. And then they go, down, and you can't touch. You're down, you go, and they'll act like they're looking around to make sure everybody no, they're just fucking with you.
Yeah, they're just doing it to fuck with you.
They're looking around like, making sure, but everybody's down. They're looking at them like, oh, is there anybody not down? Okay. And then they wait for a moment, and you go, up, one.
And the Marines, I don't know if the Army did this, but the Marines take it one step further. Like, if you're on the deck, like if you're trying to cheese dick it and like actually put your chest on the deck, they'll come up and kick you in the fucking stomach.
Yes, they fucking will. No, they come around behind you and kick you in the ass into the ground.
Oh no, they'll kick you. I mean, if you're on the ground, they'll kick you in the stomach. I'm just get the fuck off my deck. Like, okay.
Yep. And it's always theirs. It's like the first thing we discovered with that was when we're on the cattle cars leaving reception and going to basic, going to actually start boot. And those fucking truck hatches open. And it's a real cattle car, by the way. Yep. It's not that new fancy ones they have in the Army for those guys where they got windows and shit. Now, these are old, cleaned out cattle cars. I mean, and this is called the shark frenzy.
And this is where they installed those windows so the infantry guys can lick them.
I don't know. That's fucking weird.
And before anyone gets started in the comments, I'm infantry, so I can make those jokes.
Yeah, it's the only two that have infantry is U.S. Army and Marine Corps, and I'm infantry all the way. And that's how we say it in here, infantry all the way. By the way, this character is based on, I said the name last night to you, and now I forget. He started the National Review. Buckley, William F. Buckley.
Okay.
This guy is I don't think he's insulting Buckley, but he's behaving like William F. Buckley. And William F. Buckley is best known for having created the magazine, the National Review. And he was part of a conservative think tank back in the 60s. Did not get along with the author that wrote Witches of Eastwick. They did not get along. In fact, Buckley threatened to punch him in the face once. And let's see. Next thing you know, Simon Wilder is going through phases. Like sometimes he's normal, sometimes he's beyond Meshuggah.
That is one phrase I love from Hebrew. Is Meshuggah it just perfectly describes crazy lunatic. Like
it's Yiddish, not Hebrew.
Yiddish, okay. But every Jewish person I've known has used the word Meshuggah a couple of times, and it's one of the best words I think I've ever heard.
I love how he stands up to the college professor and then just walks out.
11 Alpha with the old cadence. I love it.
Yep. If I die in the old drop zone, box me up and ship me home, bury me in the leaning rest, tell my mom I did my best.
We have a different version, but that's really only because we don't do airborne. It's like it's if I die in a combat zone, which, same thing.
For the basic MOS for every soldier in basic training would be 11 Bravo, but it's when you go to AIT that you get your official MOS.
For us, it would be 0311.
Yeah,
which is basic infantry. Actually, basic infantry is 300, and then you have 0311, which is a rifleman, 31, which is a machine gunner, and 41, which is a mortarman. And I was more advanced guys, the 51s and 52s, which are assaultmen and anti-tank gunners. And I think the 51s are gone now. They've rolled it all into.
That's 52s. The guy. That's the guy, Alpha. They did not get along. They despised each other. But I was 11 Alpha when I started AIT, and by the time we wrapped up AIT, they had done away with 91 Alpha and made all combat medics, because 91 Bravo, when we started training for medic, was a medic that was an NCO. Then they just did away with it. All medics are 91 Bravos. So I was 91 Bravo until it transitioned to 68 whiskey, which is, I think, what it is still.
I think it's still that. At least all of the medics I know are 68 whiskeys.
Is that me, or is
I think they're named that? I think they're named that after how much you drink.
That's you, Gary. He sounds fine to me.
Okay, good.
And I think they're named whiskeys because that's what you have to have after dealing with grunts for a day.
Yeah. Now, as a 91 Alpha or Bravo, I knew where I was headed. I was going infantry to an infantry unit. And in fact, it was 29th Infantry Division that I was attached to. And I liked that. I liked being, that's where you're really being a combat medic. That's because that's what a combat medic's supposed to be, is be with an infantry unit. And I love that. The film was shot in various, I talked about that at the first, Bud. You were here.
Yep.
That's the Wikipedia copy and paste that he's doing.
The exterior of Winthrop House appears, but the interiors pictured are not the actual Harvard houses. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning, too, that I was there for some of the filming of this on campus.
Oh, 11 Alpha has my favorite phrase to use on the radio. Is Whiskey Tango Fox, over.
Yep, I like that one, Alpha. Nyquist not photographed such American movies as Cannery Row. I like that movie. William Phil, Pretty Boy, Starting Over. I like Starting Over. Agnes of God, not a big fan. But also photographed his homegrown movies, Fanny and Alexander, and I remember that one. I do not know what's going on here, why I'm having so much connection problems. I'm not showing a drop in my internet. No, I'm having trouble. Like, I click on one of the comments, and it takes forever for it to react to my click.
Really?
That's weird.
Yeah. Hour of the Wolf's a good movie. I was annoyed with their roommate. And it's like he's supposed to be the most likable in there. It's like, no, he's very fucking annoying. I've had roommates like that guy, and I'm like, man, grow a pair. Stop acting like a girl.
That's an insult to girls.
Not really. Not the ones I've had to run into.
He's just being a bitch.
I meant to write not only photograph.
I only have one problem with this movie. It's when he takes Pesci's character to social services and he's absolutely sabotaging everything and then just walking out. You paid into the system. Let the system take care of you.
He doesn't care. That's the problem with his character, is he doesn't care. But later he reneges on his attitude and ends up getting the assistance. Yeah. But he also knows he's dying. Which is what, that's the ending of this movie is all about, is the fact that he knew he was dying the whole time. He knew he had a terminal disease. Good to hook is a piece of specifically airborne slang. No idea if other military use it. I've never heard it. Good to hook, which means good to hook up, No. We're going to let you carry the show, Amelia. Go ahead.
I'm so annoyed with her right now. I just gave her a treat. She just wants attention and wants to play, and I'm Jesus Christ.
Rocket Kitty just likes being the center of attention.
Yeah.
Now, it's hard to believe that that's Moira Kelly, because she does really look like a boy.
Yeah, kind of.
Because she is actually really very pretty. And she was... she got my attention in a film called Chaplin with Robert Downey Jr. as Chaplin. And she was really good in that film.
And you can't really picture a guy who looks the part of Charlie Chaplin more than Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he nailed it. It was a great film. But he had too many problems. And getting that kind of money all of a sudden made him dive deeper into his addiction.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I love him as Tony Stark is he also has the experience of being a raging addict like Tony was in the comics.
Yep, he was an alcoholic. In fact, I remember those comics when he was drunk and fucking alcoholic asshole.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things I always loved about. I mean, Iron Man has always been my favorite superhero. I've never been shy about that. But Tony was always a relatable hero because he was a human being. Like, he was not flawless at all. Like, yes, he was a genius, but he was also an alcoholic and a narcissist.
Yep.
And I hate what they did in Iron Man 2, because the reason that Rhodey got the War Machine suit was because the War Machine suit was the only thing that could stop Iron Man. Like, basically, he gave it to his best friend in case he got out of control. And he did a couple of times.
Well, in the movie states that Tony had turned off all the safeties on the Mark II armor, and that's why Rhodey could take it. And in their conversation is implied that he kind of wanted Rhodey to take the armor, but without giving it to him.
Whereas in the comics, he actually gave it to him. Like, and they were, Batman and Robin, essentially, in that comic series, is Iron Man and War Machine.
Good movie, Alpha. I like the movie Less Than Zero.
Oh yeah.
What's this? Karen James of the New York Times wrote, quote, "The well-meaning plot about homelessness turns out to be insufferable part, but the appealing actors who play the four roommates give the film a casual charm." Yeah.
That's a good summary of it. And I didn't realize Less Than Zero was made the year I was born.
That was 85, wasn't it?
87.
87. I would actually like to do that on a Wednesday. Wednesdays are more for that kind of storytelling. Saturdays are more for sci-fi, horror, or big epic things.
And I figured out recently, like, you know what the first big blockbuster movie was after I was born? RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop. Monkey Jeebus is here, man.
Hey, Monkey Jeebus. I haven't seen you in a minute, dude.
He's working all the time, man. That's my bank account, Less Than Zero.
And Davey, don't get me started on that line in the first Iron Man. Like,
am Iron Man.
It was perfect right up until that point. It's just like, because in the comics, Tony goes out of his way to protect that identity.
Well, that wasn't actually in the script. Robert Downey did that.
Yeah.
And fucking Favreau liked it so much that he left it in.
And you know what? For the MCU, it works. And for that version of Tony, he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I am Iron Man.
We talked about this before, Alpha, that we both, one, I lived in Fredericksburg and I used to go to Georgetown all the time. But when I went to seminary, I ended up going to Georgetown. And I went there for a whole semester before I convinced myself I like sex.
That didn't take much convincing.
No, I just had to bust a nut one time with a girl and boom. I was like, because I was traumatized at 13 when that happened. But when I was like there, yeah, it was different. Speaking of 94, Pulp Fiction won the Palme d'Or. Yeah, Cannes. Yeah.
And Gary, like, you being from Virginia, I know you know where I live now.
I forgot, where are you at?
The very northern tip of Virginia, up in Winchester.
Oh yeah, Winchester, good place.
I mean, I love it here.
Well, you're close to like the better places around there. You've got, well, Georgetown near you. It's like one little jump on the highway. You can go there. You can go to DC. You can go to Alexandria.
I wouldn't call DC a good place, but yes, I can get there.
It was fun when I was a kid. I liked going there like every weekend.
The funny part is I love shitting on DC, but I've been there probably more than any other American city other than Boston.
Natural Born Killers 94, which got very polarized.
And 11 Alpha, I remember you saying that you went to high school in Winchester. And I think you went to the school that's right by me, Handley.
No, we have not, and I love that movie. Lee Marvin is great in that. Harper's Ferry, been there quite a few times. Nice place.
Let's face it, Lee Marvin is great in everything.
Yeah, he is.
Same thing as Charles Bronson. And Robert Duvall, actually. Like, every movie I've ever seen him in, he was fantastic. And every interview I've ever heard about the man, he's depicted as an absolute gentleman, just like he acts.
Yeah, by the way, bringing up those two actors, Bronson and Lee Marvin, They worked together, but they had a huge falling out.
Really?
While making Dirty Dozen, because of a drunkardly incident with Marvin, and Bronson had enough and fucking
why does that not surprise me?
It almost came to a fucking came to blows, and Marvin. Marvin had some problems back then. He got drunk and hit on Sean Connery's mother, and Connery was there and didn't realize who she was, and Connery walked up like ready to fucking punch him, and Marvin says, "Not in the face, I shoot tomorrow."
I like that story.
And it made Connery laugh, and so nothing happened.
And didn't those two go on to become like really good friends?
I don't know. I've never heard of that, but they did. They didn't fight over what he said to his mom.
Which, at that point, that's one of those like, look, I think you're a good dude, but you tried to hit on my mom, so we gotta go.
Yeah, it's what's funny is, in the military, buddies, especially back then, used to talk all the time about banging each other's sisters and shit.
Yep. Sisters is one thing. Mothers is another.
Mother, whole other territory you don't ever fucking tread over.
Yeah, and if you do, you better be prepared to throw hands. Because you're going to, whether you want to or not. And I had James Jameson said I had heard about this one of James Garner having to pull Lee Marvin aside.
Oh, look, he had issues with he had issues with Bronson.
Yep.
And they did not get along very well while making The Great Escape. There were a couple of run-ins on that one. The interesting thing is that what is his name? Not Schlesinger, the director of that film.
What is his name?
The guy from Halloween, Dr.
Shit, now I'm blanking on it.
English actor. He was also in Escape from New York as the president. Donald Pleasance. Donald Pleasance.
Yeah,
is in the movie, and he's playing a character who's going blind, and he kept giving advice to the director, and the director was just blowing him off and just kind of being rude to him. And Garner was the first one to say something to him, the director. He says, "You ought to listen to him," because he was actually a POW in the camps in World War II.
Everything I've ever heard about James
that
Garner
hadn't
been positive,
but that didn't get through to the director. What ended up getting through to the director was later Bronson visited his private trailer that night after the incident, and nobody knows what he said to him, but the director was nice to him from that point forward.
Yeah, you're gonna be nice to him. Or
Sturgis. It's John Sturgis was the director, and from that point forward, not only was he polite to him, he made him the historical technical advisor for the film for being in a camp.
Yeah.
And so that was the second job that he got paid to do in the film. Donald Pleasance.
And
let's see.
Yes, 11 Alpha, the area around Winchester or just the entire Shenandoah Valley is some of the most beautiful land I've ever seen.
Yep. No, as far as it goes of the overly intelligent homeless bum character films, I consider it better than the other ones. And I'm just not but like Alpha, I'm not a fan of that genre because I call bullshit on it.
The only one I really like out of, I mean, it's not even he's homeless. It's just, the Diamond in the Rough genre would be Good Will Hunting.
I love Good Will Hunting.
I love Robin Williams' character in it.
And the line he delivers at the end is actually ad-libbed, where he says, I'll be goddamn, he stole my fucking line.
Yep.
I think every director let Robin Williams ad-lib a lot.
Well, yeah, because you had to.
Yeah. I know they had a lot of fun doing Mrs. Doubtfire.
The shorter leash you kept him on, the more he'd rebel.
Yeah.
Yep. By the way, what James is talking about here is an incredible story. I told it to Anima a couple of times, where Kurt was a kid, and he gave Bronson, I think it was a Boy Scout knife, but he gave him a gift of a knife, and Bronson took it and just sort of stood there for a minute, didn't say anything, and just turned around and walked away. And then later he confessed that he had never gotten a gift before.
Really?
Oh, wow, that's sad.
And he grew up poor. He worked in the fucking coal mines as a kid, as a child, working the coal mines. He didn't speak English until I think he was like 8 or 9. He spoke Polish. And, but that's a wonderful story about Kurt Russell and him. The Grand Illusion, one of the best.
Kurt Russell has always struck me as just one of the just genuine gentlemen of Hollywood.
Well, I love him. And I like that even when he calls somebody out for their bullshit, he's polite about it, because he was on The View and he called them out on their bullshit.
Politely, though. I remember the one you're talking about, but yeah, he was very polite about it, but he made no mistake about what he was saying
about guns and about the right to bear arms, and he was just very succinct. That's all he did. He just answered politely, said bullshit politely to them, and then they moved on. It's not like that embarrassing fucking moment for the Irish chick that's coming back to the U.S. now with her herpes.
Rosie O'Donnell?
Yeah, she fucking put Tom Selleck in an awkward position on her show, and he was trying to be polite, and she was being a complete cunt to him.
And I will give Tom credit for, I know the one you're talking about, and I will give Tom credit for that. He was trying his hardest to not be a dick. She made it so hard for him. He's like, he had to at least step on her a little bit.
Lithuanian, you're right. Thanks, Alpha. And fuck you. Grand Illusion by Jean Reno. Yo, I know the film you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen it. That's where the German character wears that weird fucking neck brace. I remember that. What's that guy's name? What was that fucking guy's name?
I don't know.
He's a fucking famous German actor. Fucking Eric von Stroheim. Von Stroheim. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, Stroheim, the guy you got listed there, that guy. He's the one that wears the weird looking Germanic neck brace as part of his uniform. It's weird. There's a movie called The Battered Bastards of Baseball. It's about Kurt Russell's dad. Yep. Kurt Russell playing baseball. A lot of people don't know he played semi-pro baseball.
Yeah, apparently he was pretty good too.
He got injured. That's what ended his. That's why he became an actor again. I think some of Bronson's ancestors were Tartars, hence the slight Asian look. Yeah, the squinty eyes. Yeah, he didn't become a superstar until he was in his fucking 50s, man. He was in his late 40s, going into his fucking 50s. Also, he stole the wife away from another actor. Anybody know who that actor is?
No.
And who the woman is? Anybody?
No.
Okay. It's Jill Ireland.
Okay.
And she was married to David McCallum. The
Oh,
Scottish
really?
actor. Yeah. It was
I didn't
very
know that.
hurtful. Yeah.
And let's face it, Bronson would not have worked in his younger days as Kersey in Death Wish.
Yep. He was already in his 50s.
Like, he needed to
did
be
Death
a
Wish.
dad. Like, and he needed to be that old in order to work. The old guy who's just tired of your shit and just comes after you. I would say the same thing with Michael Douglas in Falling Down. Like, it wouldn't have worked in the early 80s. He was too young. But you have that guy who's just in his late 30s, early 40s. Oh, gee, I wonder where I'm at.
Well, just think about it. He didn't become an action star until he was 50.
Yeah, it's like, I'm tired of this shit and I want to fucking go home.
Yeah. By the way, again, my boss worked on that film. He was in it and he worked on it. Dale Dye. And I do like that moment when he says, with all due respect, fuck you, sir.
Yep.
Good moment. Let's see. I mean, but I tell people, the minute you say with all due respect, there's no respect coming.
Yeah.
As soon as the words with all due respect leave your mouth, the next things are going to be the least thing from respect possible.
Yeah, there's no respect in what you're about to say at all. And that's why I've always hated when somebody says with all due respect. Keep hearing him say it. The monocle.
My personal favorite from a subordinate is permission to speak freely, because you're about to hear some shit.
Yeah, he wasn't as bulky as, say, like a linebacker, but he had the build of a fucking boxer, which is perfect for the movie Hard Times. That guy stayed muscular all the way up into his 70s, man. Gaston Mado from Louis Buñuel's Golden Age is in it as well. The film Le Grand Illusion. At this point, we can actually stop talking about this movie now, Gambit.
Yeah.
I think it's time we can move on beyond that one movie.
Or just French cinema in general, because who likes the French?
I love the French. I hate Parisians. Helen Place is here. What is up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. But yeah, read up on him, man. That guy stayed in amazing shape all the way up until his death.
Yeah, as far as I know, Bronson was in like fighting shape up until his 60s.
Yeah, he was.
Which is, the older you get, the harder it is to maintain.
He did not start losing body mass until he began the process of dying.
Yeah, and the older you get, the harder it is to maintain. As I'm now on the backslope of that, yeah. I still go to the gym, but it gets harder and harder every day.
And the guy lived all the way up into the 2000s. He outlived his poor wife. Jill Ireland also died of cancer. And his was COPD with lung cancer. And
because he smoked a long, long time.
And not to mention, he worked the coal mines as a kid, which does damage to the lungs.
There's also that of like COPD / black lung.
You're 35 minutes late on that. We were already talking about that, bud, earlier.
I think he's doing his own show.
Because when he was a kid, I said Polish. He actually spoke Lithuanian, as Alpha pointed out. Again, fuck you, Alpha.
Is Lithuanian its own language? I thought they all.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I thought they all spoke basically the same Slavic sort of language.
No, I think what happened to the Balkan countries when they split up. Like Slovenia split first, and nowadays Slovenian and Croatian are very different languages. There's some similarities, yeah, and Slovenians understand all the other Balkans, but people from other Balkan countries have trouble understanding Slovenians. Language changes over time.
Well, as I said, he worked in the coal mines. Yeah, that's not a happy childhood.
Unless you like coal.
Hey, the children yearn for the mines, all right?
Were the kind of gear in every movie he was offered. Yeah. Yeah, fuck you, Alpha. I'm serious, dude. Go fuck yourself, you bastard.
He knows this shit, though. You have to give him.
Yeah, I know he does. I don't really mean it. I'm teasing him. Yeah, fuck you for being smarter than me and knowing more than me this morning. Fuck you.
But Anima, I didn't know there were that many languages in Eastern Europe. I thought they mostly spoke either German or Russian.
No, dude.
Well, you got to remember
their own language.
And often some of them are branched off from other languages because there's a hint of German in certain, like in Hungary. Because you and I talked about this before when they made the movie Forced 10 from Navarone.
Oh, that's right.
That some of the extras in that were from that country was Hungary, wasn't it? Or was it Croatia? That there's like, there's a hint of German or Germanic language mixed in with a lot of that.
Well, Yugoslavia stole a lot of words from other languages.
Well,
they just spell it their way.
It's almost like English, because our English is a bastard language.
Which is, I feel like Czech should have done that, but it didn't. Like, because the Czech Republic now would have been Bohemia then, would have been part of the Holy Roman Empire, which spoke German, but they spoke Czech.
That's wild.
And there were multiple emperors from Bohemia that spoke in Czech. And the only reason I know this is the game Kingdom Come Deliverance. Thank you again, Warhorse Studios, for making 2 amazing games.
Lithuanian and Latvian are Baltic languages. They are unrelated to any Slavic language.
Really?
All languages in Europe are related to each other to some degree, except Finnish and Hungarian, because they have more in common with Chinese. They don't have ties to any other European language. It's wild.
That does explain why Finland has languages that are just completely alien to the rest of us.
It's a wild language, yeah. And James, you're talking about Switzerland. They have French, Italian, and German. Well, their own version of German.
And they have the single driest cheese I've ever eaten.
From Switzerland, and like she speaks like 5 languages. And I'm amazed at how they can just do that. Like she speaks English, French, Italian, German, and there's another one.
It's because we have so many different languages here.
I guess.
It's just handy, and it's normal to speak at least 2 languages in Europe. At least.
I guess. Whereas in America, it's like we speak English here.
Yeah, you don't need other languages to travel when you're staying within the United States. But when you travel within Europe, it's handy to know more than just.
Well, I mean, when you look at it, just Texas is the size of Western Europe.
Europe is bigger than the United States.
No,
yes.
It is not.
Google it, please.
No,
it is not that much.
The lower, just Texas is the size.
The thing is, wait.
I'm not talking European Union. I mean Europe.
Like just Texas is the size of Western Europe, and New England is the size of the UK. America is, I mean, you visited here, right?
Yeah.
The amount of land we have is insane.
I know, but Europe is big.
Europe's not that big.
Anima, Europe is a continent. You're comparing a continent to a country.
Well, to a continent. I mean, the United States is the North American continent, more or less.
Not all of it. It's like what?
Not all of it.
70%
Canada and Mexico are still a thing for now. But 2/3 of the continent are the United States. Like, you can drive for 14 hours and still be in Texas. And I come from an East Coast state where they're very small. Like, Massachusetts is not a big state. You can drive across it in 2 hours. No, 3 hours.
Check the private chat.
And try.
I'm not bullshitting you here.
Are you including Russia in that?
Part of Russia is in Europe.
Okay, that's why.
We're talking continent here. And Russia's natural.
Yeah, if you include Russia east of the Caucasus.
Yeah, it's Europe. It's the same with Turkey. Part of it is Europe and part of it is Asia.
Well, I mean, I would say all of it is Europe.
No, part of it. The Bosporus divides Turkey. And there's this spot on the bridge where they have this line, and tourists stand there with 1 foot in Asia and 1 foot in Europe. It's stupid,
There's a similar point in the U.S. where it's called the Four Corners, where you can be in one landmark and be in 4 states at the same time.
That is wild. Yeah, Gary talked to me about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and Russia is an Asian country.
Most of it. Yeah.
I mean, even in attitude, they're Asian.
Yeah, but it spans 2 continents. So
We called Germans Huns in World War I. We called them, a few people still called them Huns. Most called them Krauts in
Krauts or Jerry's.
World War II. World War II is where we started calling them different names. But World War I, we definitely called them the Huns. My grandfather called them Huns until the day he died.
And we're not going to talk about what my grandfather called the Japanese.
Yeah. Well, look, Korea is where the crudest names came out. That's when they began calling the North Koreans gooks.
I mean,
it was used in Vietnam, but the fact is that's where that got started.
My grandfather.
World War II, we called them Japs.
My grandfather called them nips until the day he died.
Yeah, another derogatory term that came out quasi between Korea and Vietnam is slopes or slopehead.
Yep. Also slants.
But another one that I said is not what you think it means is zipperhead. And I said, actually, zipperhead just means you already see them as dead. Zipperhead means you're in a body bag.
Yeah.
That's what zipperhead means. It's not a derogatory term for Asian. It's derogatory term for somebody that's fucking dead.
For already. A dead enemy, yeah.
Yeah. And so you would hear him call, it would start out as zipperheads in Korea, but then by Vietnam, they were called zips. Zips inside the wire is what you would hear.
Or Charlie.
Well, Charlie was from the fact that Charlie was only used for the Viet Cong. He said he must be like Attila the Hun. Kaiser. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Nips comes from Nippon. Exactly. Thanks, Monkey. Just so you know, Monkey Jeebus is our in-house Japanese expert.
Yeah.
He was talking about a scorched earth policy. He says, James, you said Scotch, but I know what you meant. Scorched.
Yeah.
Hey, a Scotched Earth policy. Now that
I kind of like Scotched. Yeah, that sounds awesome. The film takes place at Harvard, and the director of the film is himself a Harvard graduate. And that's nothing to brag about. It's one of the biggest leftist colleges. In fact, the Department of War
that's a shame to me.
and the Department of Defense just cut all ties with Harvard.
And that's a shame to me, is that Harvard University used to be like the American version of like Oxford or Cambridge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Alpha. Exactly. Perfect. Victor
But-
Charlie, which just means VC.
But now
Viet Cong.
it's just a leftist indoctrination center. It's
Well, that's
not
what they're
a
saying.
Institute of Learning.
And what's worse is the military's gotten pissed that they've been sending officers there, and they're coming out extremely politicized. And they're like, we're not going to pay for this. We're not going to work with you anymore. You know, you keep doing this.
That's when you know it's bad, is when the
They're
military
indoctrinating.
is when the military goes, yeah, no, we're not sending any more officers to your school.
Yep. Done doing it, man. You keep basically turning them into political extremists. I've always loved that line. It's a great one. Charlie, don't serve.
Oh,
Let's see. And we can see why Alek wanted to make this a passion project. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Fun fact, Attila in German is Edsel. Oh, my God. Okay, I had explained to Anima what the Edsel was the other day. And then I showed her a photo and I said, do you see it? That's a vulva on the front of that car. There's a woman's genitals on the front of that car.
And not only that, like, just the Edsel was just a terrible vehicle.
Oh, it had so many fucking problems.
Like, it was one of the least reliable cars America's ever produced. And that's including some of Ford's models. And yeah, Ford, I'm going to get to you. Don't worry.
Hey. Leave the Pinto alone.
Hey. How about the Gremlin?
Oh, God, the AMC Gremlin. Oh, AMC.
Look, the Pinto and the Gremlin were two of the ugliest fucking cars ever made.
Yeah, except only one of them exploded.
But under specific circumstances.
Okay, you brought it up. What movie used that as a sight gag?
Oh, shit. I mean, I know Wayne's World used the Gremlin.
Yeah, but there's a movie that has a scene with a Pinto.
Oh, shit. What is it?
Let's see if anybody in the chat knows.
I don't know, but maybe you remember this one. It's a movie based on the whole kerfuffle with the exploding cars.
I'm keeping single-minded. I'm not taking myself off of this.
No, it's not Top Secret.
Oh, it most certainly is.
Is it? Oh, that's right. Exploding Pinto. Shit.
All right, here we go. I'm going to share the screen. Share screen. Here we go. Good one, Monkey. All right. Go ahead and
first.
Add my screen, Martin. Pretty please.
It's up. my god.
Oh, I forgot about that scene. Shit. We did that not long ago on Brian's channel.
We did it on here too about a year ago.
Yeah.
That shit was funny. Fucking wrecked it. Dude. It's like made by the same people who made Airplane and all that shit. You know, the Naked Gun. Anima can't stand those movies, but loves Val Kilmer's Top Secret.
Yep.
Really? It's written the same way. She
doesn't like
Top Secret actually
like
is funny. The other movies are just silly and too over the top for me.
They even have a song called "Silly." Silly as
that's
it gets.
the fucking
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
Is they're silly and over the top.
They're all parodies of a genre. Walt Whitman is what Simon quotes from. Yep. Well, Walt Whitman is a major. It's not a plot device in it. It's a theme within the film. I would say Walt Whitman's writing is a theme. Heathens is what the Romans called Attila, the Huns, and that's also from the show Sanford and Son. That's what Fred Sanford's cousin, what's her name, would always call heathens. See, the special circumstances where NBC News packing the Pinto with flammable material so it would look better on the news, an early example of fake news. Actually, we could go all the way back to Vietnam when Walter Cronkite did his report.
I'm fucking glad you brought that up.
From Way City during the Tet Offensive. All the battle was over by the time he did his report, but he turned in his 16 millimeter footage, sent it to
of the Vietnam War is now unwinnable.
And they added the sound of combat to that footage. There was no combat going on.
Also, the quote, "The Vietnam War is now unwinnable." Fuck you, Cronkite.
Yep.
We were 3 weeks away from absolute victory.
Well, we did win. That's the thing they don't like to talk about. We lost the Vietnam War. No, we didn't. We actually beat them so badly that we wiped out the Viet Cong during the Tet Offensive. We killed them all. And so all we were fighting from that day forward was the NVA. And then we kicked their ass so badly once Nixon started bombing in North Vietnam and into Cambodia that we forced them to join us at the peace talks in Paris, where they signed the treaty ending the war, ending the conflict. But the problem was our, I hate saying it, but it's true, our liberal Congress at the time defunded the war, and we were forced to bail from Vietnam. And so there's a treaty and nobody there to enforce it. And so 2 million friends of the United States were murdered by the Khmer Rouge. But as bad as the Khmer Rouge was, as far as communists goes, the North Vietnamese were like, man, this Khmer Rouge, they're fucking evil. And so they went and they killed all the Khmer Rouge. Like, we can't have you. You're just a little too fucking violent for us.
And, you know, there's nothing better than communists killing each other over who's the worst asshole.
Yeah, right. The bikini girl gets up and the sand is indented. Yeah, from the boobs. That was always funny where she sits up and you see the holes in the sand, the boobs. I fucking love that movie. I love Skeet Surfing USA. Yeah, exactly, Alpha. Alpha's got it here. That's one of my favorite songs. I like that one. I like the song As Silly as It Gets, or As Silly as You Get. I fucking like that song. And Val did all of his own singing in that film. Airplane Lloyd Bridges is hilarious. Absolutely. It's
that's
like, look like I picked a bad day to quit, whatever. You know,
that's something nobody remembers about the late great Val Kilmer is he actually had a great singing voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, he did the on stage, and he did the animated musical about Moses and the Ten Commandments. And in the animated one by Spielberg, it was that, and then he was in the stage play musical about Moses, and he again different songs. And I love that. He was a great singer, man. He did all of his own vocals for the Doors, man. Christy Swanson passed on the role of Courtney, which ended up going to Moira Kelly. I'm kind of glad. I actually think Moira Kelly is very pretty. I loved her in Chaplin.
She's not my kind of pretty, but I do understand why people find her attractive.
That is another one that people forget from Vietnam is Marvin.
Oh, Marvin the Arvin, yeah.
The Arvin, yeah. I like that line from the movie Full Metal Jacket. It's in the book too, The Short Timers, where he says with the South Vietnamese regulars, he goes, "Is there an irregular?"
Right.
What do you mean regular?
Well, I mean, when you bring up Full Metal Jacket, like that took place during the Tet Offensive. Like,
well, yeah, that's the big scene.
The end of the movie is Way City.
Yep. But yeah, they're at the air base. That's where he deploys from. The air base.
Which
the air base was the one that was hit during the battle. So they had that famous gate up of that air base.
I want Dale to make a movie on Way City.
Never going to happen, man. Like, the Khmer Rouge were worse than killers.
Why not?
Oh, they were evil.
It's amazing.
Evil. Oh, because he's in the
Way City was one of the best urban operations in the 20th century.
He's looking at retiring at this point.
Well, I know, but at the same time, like he was there.
What I'd like to see him do is write books. Retire from film and just write books. And I don't care. I will always do any cover for him.
There's so much knowledge. I mean, like even the couple of times I've met him, like there's so much knowledge in that man.
And by the way, Christy Swanson
on the officer class of the Marine Corps, Dale is the exception.
What is Christy Swanson's best movie? I know in my mind.
That's a good question. I can think of a couple of reasons you'd want to hire her.
Anybody? Want to take a stab at it? Let's see if anybody in the chat can guess it. What movie am I thinking as her best movie?
Christy Swanson? I'd take a stab at her.
Oh, fuck yeah. So, but back when I was younger, I would have. Christy Swanson's best movie, in my humble opinion, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1992.
Ooh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Rutger Hauer's in it.
The cops are coming for Pope.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see you in 6 months.
Sorry. These are the sounds you have to deal with when you live 2 blocks from a fire station.
And even though he's Elvis, he actually gets called a different name. Was it Bob? I think it was Bob, wasn't it? He's called Bob. And it's not the only time he got to play Elvis, as I recall. Wait, no, I'm thinking Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell did a movie about Elvis back in the 70s, Elvis and Priscilla. But then he did a movie years later, 3,000 Miles to Graceland, with Kevin Costner, where they're both dressed as Elvis impersonators. And they rob a bank or pull a heist. I can't remember the bank. And that's the second time he gets to do it.
I want the same for Audie Murphy, but I also want a same biopic for Chesty Puller.
Yeah, Chesty's never gotten a film. We've never gotten a proper film about Dan Daly either.
No, and you know what? The problem is, like, just like Hacksaw Ridge, they had to downplay what he actually did because no one would believe it. Except that's what actually happened. Dan's story.
Well, it's during the Boxer Rebellion, and we had a movie called 50 Days in Peking, I think was the name of it.
Peking,
but
yeah.
It's a fictional story about a historical event Good movie, though. Don't get me wrong. I like the film. Charlton Heston's in it, man, playing a badass. But the film should have been about the actual assault on the international city during the Boxer Rebellion. And absolutely Dan Daly should have been a major character in it.
Because he single-handedly stopped it, essentially.
I would love an absolutely realistic depiction of To Hell and Back, adapted straight from the fucking book.
Oh, hell yes. Like, straight up adapted straight from the book.
Secret of My Success was an okay film. Michael J. Fox. I'm not that big a fan. I saw it in the theater. I went, ha ha. Yeah, 55 Days at Peking.
I feel like this joke will only work
movie.
if I turn my camera on, but Michael J. Fox is just,
It's not like I didn't enjoy him in certain things. Like, I couldn't imagine Back to the Future with anybody else but him as Marty.
No.
And I liked Family Ties. This is one of my favorite TV sitcoms. And
I think Michael J. Fox is a funny guy.
Well, he did another show, and it's the one where I started noticing there was something wrong with him. And
Radio City?
No, in Spin City. Spin City.
Spin City, that's right.
And I kept pointing out something's up with him to friends of mine. I'm like, there's something wrong with him. The way he looks at people, and a lot of his twitches that he does are cover moves to cover him shaking. I said, I think he's got fucking Parkinson's, man.
And he developed Parkinson's really early.
Back at the end of the 80s, first of the 90s, like right back then. I think it was 88 when he got diagnosed.
And also, he was only in his 20s when he got diagnosed.
World War I. Douglas MacArthur, Wild Bill Donovan, and the Fighting 69th. Yeah. Yeah, right.
He was a patient in Shrinking. Remember that episode, Gary? When Michael J. Fox is a patient at the clinic?
Well, he's actually in the show. He's in there for more than one episode.
I like that.
He ends up becoming close friends with Harrison Ford in the show.
And also, 11 Alpha, I would read that book, just delete Douglas MacArthur.
Well, he was a shitheel. No question about it.
Like, he was just a shit general and never really did anything redeeming.
This is something I was trying to explain to everybody, because somebody tried to tell me one day, National Guard, people joined the National Guard to stay out of Vietnam. I said, not the smartest move. Yeah. And somebody tried to tell me that National Guard wasn't part of the Department of Defense. I said, the fuck, it's not. That's why it says U.S. Army on one side of their uniform.
Yeah.
I said, my grandfather was in the National Guard when he went to World War I. Charlton Heston was good with his characterization of Major Matt Lewis in it. I like that movie. I really do. And I've said that we need to do that film. 55 Days at Peking is a good film talking about the Boxer Rebellion.
I've never actually seen it.
It over-dramatizes the fiction part of it. And I wish it had been, because there's this whole romantic aspect to it, which I thought was bullshit. Nobody cares about that stuff.
I've never actually seen it, and I want to now.
It's a good film. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
They Ava Gardner, as I recall, is the love interest in that, and I was like turned off by that. So, but I do like it. And Dan Daly sat on that wall, sniping those guys with open sights. He didn't have a scope.
By the way, with an 1895 potato digger, a machine gun.
Yep.
And he was just mowing those motherfuckers down. Because apparently, I don't know how accurate this is, but this is...
They counted over 200 enemy combatants' bodies, but he alone killed.
I don't know how accurate this is, but their belief was their ability in martial arts could stop bullets. Yes, they're that stupid.
He is one of the rare Marines who won more than one Medal of Honor. He was awarded his first. Yeah, Chesty Puller only got one.
Actually, no, Chesty Puller had none.
He got the Navy. I thought he got the Medal of Honor and the Navy Cross.
No, he won the Navy Cross 5 times. The only 2 Marines to win the Medal of Honor and live through both attempts are Dan Daly and Smedley Butler.
Huh. I could have sworn that Chesty also got it. But Dan Daly won 2
of his Navy Crosses should have been Medals of Honor.
The Marine Corps frowns on it, getting more than one Medal of Honor. They don't like Marines getting more than one. They prefer them to get the Navy Cross instead, which is the Navy's version of the Medal of Honor.
Oh, it's the secondary version of the Medal of Honor. But the fucked up thing is, why would you not want Marines to win that medal? Like, because the way you earn that medal is some shit you shouldn't survive.
Now, by the way, I just saw somebody just mentioned Mad Jack. It's Mad Jack Churchill. I don't know if he was related to Winston or what, but that dude was the one in the famous photograph carrying a fucking saber into combat on D-Day.
Oh, no, it wasn't a saber. Look at the hilt.
All I know is the photo. It's an out of focus photo.
But
there's not that much detail.
It's a basket hilt. It was not a saber. He was fucking running into battle with a broadsword.
If it is a basket hilt, he's holding it with the basket hilt behind his hand. That means he's carrying it by the blade in this photo. I'll show you the photo. I just looked it up. Share screen. It's not a very good fucking photo. It really is not. Fuck off with that fucking thing. There we go. You can share it anytime, Martin. That's him in the front, and he's holding it. If that is a basket hilt, he's holding it by the blade, which is insane.
No. If that's the photo, that's a rapier.
It's the photo. I said that he carried a rapier.
Which is
there you go. He was
actually more badass because the rapier could not.
He was insane.
Any kind of combat action.
He was insane.
Stabbing somebody.
I'm trying to tell people that guy was insane, but insane in the membrane. The guy was an incredible fucking warrior. Didn't he lose an eye too in combat? Fucking kept going.
But Mad Jack Churchill has a whole stream unto himself.
Yeah. Hold on. We got some stuff going on here. Charlton Heston, like the 1920s born actress like Brando, did not turn to the method. And absolutely. Fucking method is I consider it pointless. The regulations for the Medal of Honor were changed to allow only one award in the 1910s. I thought I remember something about that. They basically changed the rule after Daly's second award. It's like, we can't have this. We can't have Marines
and that would be after Daly's third recommendation for the Medal of Honor.
Yeah, he delivered the famous line, "Do you want to live forever?" at the Battle of Belleau Wood. And it's so fucking funny because I have sat down with my boss, Dale Dye, and talked to him about that incident, of which I said, I hate the way Hollywood presents that, because every time I see them talk about that line, they say it wrong, because that is not what Dan Daly was saying. What he was saying is, if you want to live forever, follow me, because we're going to die, but they will never forget what we do here today.
They will never forget our names. And that is what Marines are built to fucking do.
Yep.
It's like we assault impossible fucking objectives and accomplish them anyway. Why?
It's a Claymore.
We're fucking retarded.
So it's a basket-hilted broadsword, claymore.
Okay.
Why is he holding it by the blade? That is so fucking weird.
If it's a basket hilt, you shouldn't be able to hold it like that.
He is. I showed you the fucking photo. The basket is behind his hand. That's crazy.
I believe you, but like, you are not able. I own a fucking Schiavona. You are not able to hold a basket-hilted sword like that.
Guys.
Yeah, we got to wrap up, I guess. What?
Yeah, I need to leave.
Oh, right at 2 hours. Okay. All right, buddy. Take it easy. Hope everything's okay.
Yeah, me too. Really.
All right.
Me too. Things are not...
I'll see you later, brother. I'm going to wrap it up here now, too. All right, buddy. Andy Morrow,
Hi, everybody.
Gambit, 11 Alpha, Slasher Fred, Andy Morrow, Gambit, Slasher Fred again. We love Slasher Fred so much we mentioned him twice. Penny, Emmanuel, Das Wolfen was here. Leo Letty, Davy Dread, Janet from Another Planet, James Jameson, Monkey Jeebus, Helen Place, and is that it? I think that's it. All right, thanks guys for being here. We're going to get the hell out of here. I hope everybody has a great day today, and we will see you again on Wednesday. I don't know if he's already taken off, so I don't know if Chief is doing a show tomorrow or what. But we are going to get the heck out of here, and we'll see you later. Left-handed salute. I gave that salute to a fucking reserve officer.
And every officer I've ever met would have punched you in the face for it.
Well, Marines, I wouldn't do it to. I'm Marine officer.
Yeah.
But I did it to a lot of butter bars.
We know what you mean by that. And
well, the funny part is they don't recognize it. They just salute. They don't even think about it. Fucking National Guard and Reserve officers are some of the worst I've ever seen.
Well, I've told you my story with the officer, right? Where we spaced each other exactly 6 feet apart.
No. But I'm going to end the show here. So we're going to get out of here, guys, and we will talk to you all later. And everybody have a great day. We will see you on Wednesday. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a great one, guys.
There you go.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Matt Damon.